Hey everyone, Danny Vaughn here once again with another Q&A session for you. I hope you've been enjoying these videos. We've been doing them to try and increase our online presence. And so once again, I'll just ask you to hit like, hit subscribe so you can see more of this stuff. We got more video stuff coming your way from backstage and all sorts of things. But the Q&A sessions have really been going very well. People have been sending in their questions for myself or for other band members, and we'll get to them one at a time. So if you got a question that you don't know the answer to, relevant to Tyketto or Wasted or me or any other of the members of the band, please do send it in at dannyvaughn.com or tyketto.com. So today, I'm covering a couple of people's questions because they kind of merge into one thing. Roy Brocky asked, why did you leave Tyketto after Strength in Numbers? Chris Riley and Ian also asked how I felt about the band continuing after I left, and would I ever include a Shine song or two when we play live now. So yeah, let's cover a little history. There were a lot of reasons why I left Tyketto. I think it was the end of '95. The hardest and most obvious one was, as everybody knows, music took a very serious shift. And I've said it many, many times before, I'm never mad at grunge music. I never was mad at it. This was something the fans decided. The fans decided they were tired of every video coming out on MTV, having guys in matching leather studded outfits, throwing their guitars over their backs and having their girlfriends humping the tops of their cars. It's what record companies do. When something works, they oversaturate until we're all sick and tired of it. And so they ruin it for all of us. I'm not a fan of MTV, in case anyone has not figured that out yet. I didn't get into this business to do videos, so even this is weird for me. But certainly, like pretending to act in a video and trying to come up with a storyline for your songs, it's just pretentious and rubbish to me. I really like the fact that people have been spending more time now doing like lyric videos and things like that. It's more relevant to the song. It's simple. It's a little less attention destroying. And I think MTV is a great contributor to the destruction of our attention span altogether. But without going too far on that rant, watching the thing that you love dearest, your band that you've put your blood and tears into, just sort of disintegrate slowly, going from smaller audiences to the point where it's almost tough to get a booking because you're not pulling people in. 50 people show up at a club, nobody makes money, and nobody wants to have you back. And it was soul destroying. By 1995, we had toured really hard in 94 and 95, all through Europe, just had really worked our socks off to try and keep it going. And we had so much help from Music for Nations and JVC with the Strength in Numbers album. But after that, it was the interest in doing another album was quite low. So I was kind of heartbroken. I was heartbroken by the business because, people who were telling me I was the next big thing one day, 2 days later, stopped taking your phone call, like wouldn't speak to you, like as if being seen with that long-haired guy would make them utterly irrelevant and therefore, not hip to what the kids dig. It was just, this is the way business works. They're so short-sighted and they don't really know what they're doing. They're just bouncing from trend to trend. So that was really hard. And I just had enough of the business scene of it. It was ugly. The more I learned about it, the more, it's disheartening, and it still goes on today. Artists are getting constantly ripped off by the deals record labels have made with online services and streaming services. It just never seems to end. So it can be very disheartening when you're creating to know that your creation is going to go out there and you won't be able to support yourself and your family with it, but other people will. So there were some personal issues as well, not between myself and the band members, but in my own life that I'm not going to go into. It was another strong reason why I quit. So the funny thing is that replacing me with Steve Augeri was my idea. We knew Steve because he lived in Staten Island, where we were staying. We hung out a lot. This wonderful bar called the Red Spot we used to spend a lot of time in. And at that time, he had just finished with his amazing band, Tall Stories, and he wasn't really doing anything. So when I kind of resigned, I resigned with the added bonus of, hey, and I think you should replace me with Steve, which they did. Now, it wasn't all rosy. The guys didn't talk to me for over a year. Michael in particular was very disheartened with me for leaving. And maybe he was right. I don't know. But anyways, that fence got mended eventually. And the guys continued on. And how did I feel about it? I was quite happy about it. Now, my ego would occasionally delight in seeing a review that once in a while would say, well, it's really good, but it's not Danny Vaughan. That was nice. But let's face it, Steve Augeri is an awesome singer and a wonderful person. So, I wish no ill on them. And I've thought, if they can figure out a way to keep on going, more power to them, keep the name going. What they did that I think probably wasn't a good idea was they made an album that was so wildly different from the first two Tyketto records that a lot of people the fan base of Tyketto didn't identify with it so well. Some great songs on it, but its production, its vibe is very, very different. And they toured it, they worked it hard. And of course, Steve went on after that to join Journey, and do wonderfully well. Would I ever do a Shine song in our sets now? Probably not. Did it with when Michael was in the band, it made some sense because, of course, he was deeply involved in Shine. But since none of us now were involved in that record, it just doesn't seem to make sense. We have so much of our own material to choose from. We're recording a new album April and May, so there's going to be even more relevant stuff to Tyketto to play live. And also, that stuff's hard. Steve's got a higher range than I do, and he really pushed it on some of those songs, like Jamie and some good songs. And I did do a couple of them with Michael at one time, but I don't see that in the future. I think we'll stick to the stuff that I've sung on. It makes more sense. And I hope that answers all of those questions. Thank you for watching. And like I said, you got some questions for the band or for me, send it in. Tyketto.com, DannyVaughan.com. Hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.